Hello and welcome to UGC E-Pathshala project. I am Sheetal Arora, Assistant Professor Criminology, Sardar Patel University of Police, Security and Criminal Justice, Jodhpur. And I am going to present a module on constitutional provisions regarding police in India, executive powers and duties of police officers. Let's begin with learning objectives of this module. That is, first, to make the learners understand the constitutional provisions regarding police in India. Second, to make the learners understand various executive duties of police officers in India. Third, to explain the learners about the various executive powers of police officers in India. India is a union of 29 states and 7 union territories. Their power and responsibilities are demarcated in Constitution of India. Article 246 Constitution of India distributes the legislative power between the Parliament and state legislative assemblies. It refers to 3 lists of subjects given in the 7th schedule of the Constitution. Union list includes the subjects in which the Parliament has the sole power to make laws. State list includes the subjects in which the state legislature has the sole power to make laws. The concurrent list includes the subjects in which both the Parliament and the state legislature have concurrent powers to make laws. Article 246 of the Constitution of India places public order, police, prisons, courts, reformatories, bostels and other elite institutions in the state list. Hence, police is a state subject. Its organization and working are governed by the rules and regulations framed by the state governments. Such regulations are outlined in the police manuals of the state police forces. Each state or union territories has its separate police force. It is important to note that the structure and working of the state police are governed by the Police Act of 1861, which is applicable in most part of the country, or by the state police acts, which are modeled mostly on the 1861 legislature. Major criminal laws like CRPC, IPC and Indian Evidence Act are uniformly applicable to almost all parts of the country. Also, the renowned Indian Police Service and All India Service is recruited, trained and managed by the central government, which indeed provides the bulk of the senior police officers to the state police forces. The quasi-federal character of the Indian polity with specific provisions in the Constitution allows a coordinating and counseling role for the centre in police matters and even authorizes it to set up certain police organizations. One of the directive principles of the state policy laid down in the Constitution required the state to separate judiciary from executive. The separation was effected through the revised code of CRPC in 1974 with regard to criminal justice. It also affected the separation of prosecution agency from police. Now let us talk about centre's role in policing. As it is in the constitutional mandate, police and public order are state subjects. But there are certain powers the central government has and may intervene in some situations or perform special functions in police matters. It is the duty of the centre to protect the states against internal disturbances and to ensure that the governance of every state is carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. Article 355 of Constitution of India entrusts the Union government with internal disturbance and of ensuring that government in every state is carried on in accordance with the constitutional provisions. As per list 1 of the 7th schedule, the Parliament has exclusive power to make laws with respect to the armed forces of the Union, the Central Paramilitary Forces CPMFs entry 2A, the Central Bureau of Investigation CBR and the Intelligence Bureau IB. The union agencies and institutions of training of police officers, promotion of special studies or research, scientific and technical assistance in the investigation or detection of crime. In all India services, and extension of the powers and jurisdiction of members of one state police force to another with the consent of the state or to the outside railway areas. Following are the duties in the matters concerning center role in police, which includes recruiting and managing the Indian Police Service, operating the Central Bureau of Investigation, the Intelligence Bureau, the other CPOs, raising, maintaining and deploying central paramilitary forces to assist the civil police, maintaining a directorate of coordination of police wireless to provide an independent channel of communication to police forces in the country, and National Crime Records Bureau to ensure computerization of police forces. Establishing and maintaining institutions for research, training and rendering of scientific aids to investigation. Enacting laws for the functioning of criminal justice system, rendering advice and assistance to the state governments in dealing with crime, law and order and other related matters, manpower and financial resources, guidance and expertise to the state government for maintenance of peace and security without trampling upon the constitutional rights of the states. 7th Schedule of the Constitution allows the central government to maintain specific police institutions and render assistance to the states. Guidance and coordination from union government becomes necessary to maintain law and order at the state level. The 7th Schedule List 1 Entry 2 and 2A also provide for central assistance to states guarding the borders and the maintenance of central paramilitary forces. Union list also includes training of the police officers, scientific and technical assistance to the states for the purpose of investigation and detection of crimes. Extends the power and jurisdiction of police force members of any state to any other area outside the state. In short, central government also has responsibility for coordination among states in investigation by the CBI and intelligence operations. The Bureau of Police Research and Development coordinates the training and modernization of police forces. The Bureau undertakes research into police problems and promotes science and technology. The Intelligence Bureau, an attached office of the MHA, is in charge of secret and political intelligence collection and provides the ministry with regular law and order updates and political analysis on the situations in different parts of the country. Now let us talk about executive powers and duties of police officers. There are several types of powers and duties of police. Powers of the police in India are vested in the Police Act 1861 and the Code of Criminal Procedure. It has been observed in other government organizations. There are fixed or limited duties, but in police force there is diversity of work in the duties. Even though they are paid less income remuneration compared to the other employment, the role and functions as per section 57 of the Model Police Act 2006 of the police in general are as follows. 1. To advocate and implement the law objectively and to shield life, liberty, property, human rights and dignity of the members of the public. To promote and preserve public order, to defend internal security, to prevent and control terrorist activities, breaches of communal harmony, militant activities and other situations affecting internal security. To protect public properties including roads, railways, bridges, vital installations and establishments, etc. against acts of vandalism, violence or any kind of attack. To prevent crimes and diminish the opportunities for the commission of crimes through their own precautionary action and measures, as well as by supporting and cooperating with other appropriate agencies in implementing remedial measures for prevention of crimes. To precisely register all complaints brought to them by a complainant or his representative via personally or received by post, email or other means, and take quick follow-up actions thereon after duly acknowledging the recipient of the complainant. To register and investigate all cognizable offences that comes to notice through such complaints or otherwise, duly providing a copy of the first information report to the complainant, and where appropriate to detain the offenders and extend required support in the prosecution of offenders. To form and uphold a feeling of security in the community, and as far as possible prevent conflicts and promote harmony. To provide first response, all possible help in situation arising out of natural or man-made disasters, and to provide prompt assistance to the other agencies in terms of relief and rehabilitation measures. To aid individuals who are in danger of physical harm or property, and to provide needed help and provide relief to people in distress situations. To assist organized movement of people and vehicles, and to control and regulate traffic on roads and highways, to gather intelligence of matters affecting public peace and all type of crime such as social offences, communalism, extremism, terrorism and other issues in relation to national security, and circulate the same to all concerned agencies, in addition acting as appropriate on it themselves. To take charge as a police officer on duty of all unclaimed property, and take appropriate action for their safe custody and disposal in accordance with the procedure prescribed, to guide, encourage and ensure welfare of police personnel. Now let us talk about social responsibilities of the police. Every police officer, as per Section 58 of the Model Police Act 2006, shall perform following functions: maintain a good conduct and behave with the members of the public with due courtesy and decorum, particularly so in dealing with the senior citizens, women and children; direct aid members of the public, especially senior citizen, women, children, poor and indigent, physically or mentally challenged individuals found in helpless conditions on the streets or other public places, or otherwise need help and protection; offer all required assistance to the victims of crime and of road accidents, and in particular ensure prompt medical aid to them irrespective of medico-legal formalities, and facilitate compensation and other legal claims; ensure that in any situation, especially during conflict between communities, classes, caste and the political groups, the conduct of the police is abide by the principles of impartiality and human rights norms, with special attention to protection of weaker section including minorities. To put on check on harassment of women and children in public places and public transport, including stalking, making objectionable gestures, signs, remarks or harassment caused in any way, provide all necessary assistance to the members of the public, particularly women, children, the poor and indigent persons, against criminal exploitations by any person or organized group. Arrange for legally allowable sustenance and shelter to every person in custody, and making aware to all such persons about the provisions of legal aid schemes available from the government, and also inform the authorities concerned in this regard. And lastly, to preserve, promote and safeguard human rights and interest of weaker sections, backward classes, poor, weak and the oppressed. According to Section 58 of the Model Police Act 2006, the state government, when declares specific service to be an essential service to the community. It shall be the duty of the police to provide the essential services, and every police officer must follow any order given by any officer superior to him in relation with the service specified in the declaration by the government. According to Section 60 of the Model Police Act 2006, a senior police officer may act upon any duty assigned by law or by a lawful order to any officer subordinate to him, and may aid, supplement, replace or prevent any action of the subordinate by his own action or that of any person lawfully acting under his command or authority, whenever the same shall appear necessary or convenient for giving more complete or expedient effect to the law, for avoiding any infringement thereof. Now I am presenting a list of police duties, functions and jobs at a glance. Broadly, the police work includes investigation, crime prevention and preservation of peace and security, crime detection work, order maintenance and security jobs, enforcement of social legislation, minor, major and special acts, collection of intelligence, democratic and election related duties, natural calamity, disaster management and emergency duties, maintenance of police records, PRO duties, assistance to other departments, miscellaneous duties and functions. Now, regarding details of investigation related duties and jobs will include police functions like crime registration, guarding, protecting, visit to the scene of crime, lifting, handling and packing of exhibits and sending them to various places like the police station, superintendent office, forensic science laboratory and other places, calling witness and serving notices to them. Calling witness and serving notices to them, arresting criminal and suspects, search and seizure proceedings during an investigation, interrogation of suspects, witnesses and criminals, collection and recording of various types of evidences, that is oral, documentary and expert opinion, etc. Taking criminals to courts for police, judicial custody and trials, raids for various purposes. Now, regarding details of crime prevention and preservation of peace and security will include gasht and patrolling, including nakabandi, performing picket and ambush jobs, checking vehicles and frisking passengers, surveillance and checking of bad characters, preventive arrest, collection and transmission of criminals, intelligence. Now, regarding details of crime detection work will include gathering of information or intelligence about criminals of various types and taking notes from the CIG, formation of mukbirs, informers and building contact with the members of criminal tribes and other segments of society so as to obtain useful information with regard to the detection of various property and other offences like murder, dacoity, robbery, etc. Now, regarding details of order maintenance and security jobs will include, among other things, the following tasks: inspection, watch in action to be taken during peaceful processions, demonstrations and strikes of various types, strict step to be taken on agitating and unruly mobs. This would include pushing off agitators, stopping them with improvised barricades and effective interventions to contain mobs under the instructions of senior officers, and the use of force whenever needed. Protection of imperative installations when rise in of crimes and emergencies of various types of VIP security and functioning of various duties during VIP visits in different capacities. Now, regarding details of enforcement of social legislations, minor and major and special acts will include to know the significance and importance of various social legislations like Child Marriage Restraint Act, Protection of Civil Rights Act, Anti-Dowry and other social legislations which provides a positive and adequate push to social change in a development oriented society like India. The role of constable in the implementation of these acts has to be an integral part of the job profile of the constabulary. To know the significance and importance of various local, special and minor acts along with the role of constabulary in the effective execution of the various provisions thereof. Now, regarding details of collection of intelligence will include collecting intelligence about any incident of law and order, political activities, labor activities, student activities and agitations thereof, communal tensions and events, employees associations and strikes by them, criminal activities, miscellaneous activities and events tending to destroy peace and tranquility. Now, regarding details of democratic and election related duties shall demand police to must have knowledge about importance of elections, types of elections, the role of police in ensuring the conduct of free, fair and impartial elections, various duties of a constable during different types of elections. Now, regarding natural calamities, disasters and emergency duties of police. Various jobs like saving life and property, providing shelter, rehabilitation, evacuation of people from crisis situation and their transportation during fires, floods, famines, spread of an epidemic, outbreak of war or external aggressions. Internal disorders like communal riots, struggling between various classes, etc. Now, regarding maintenance of police records shall include police to have knowledge about proper handling of the record, preserve and maintenance of the record, preparation, destruction, revision and modification of the record of various police units. Now, about the public relation officer duties. Police are the most visible and effective PROs of the police department. They should thereof understand importance of public community relations and its present state in the area of their operations and functions, and role of constables in improving PCR and police image. Now, regarding assistance by police to other departments, this shall include assistance to the education department during examinations, students and employees strike and other situations of disorders, the revenue department and loaning organizations for recovery of loan revenues, collection, etc. The departments like banks and municipalities for guards, etc., for the removal of encroachments, etc., and the other departments and when the need arises. Now, regarding other miscellaneous duties and functions which will include ceremonial duties, discharging regulatory duties and regulations of traffic and traffic management duties, comprehension of the norms of loyalty, commitment, neutrality and impartiality in the discharge of one's functions, obligations and commitments to the government and to the police organization, contribution of constables during anti-dacoity operations, raids, emergencies, rounding up of and controlling of gundas and antisocial elements. It is time for concluding this module. It is important to note that police are one of the most omnipresent organizations of the society. The policemen, therefore, happen to be the most perceptible representative of government. During any crisis, danger or difficulty, when a citizen does not know what to do and whom to approach, the police station and a policeman happen to be the most appropriate and accessible unit and person for him. The police are expected to be the most available, interactive and dynamic organization of any society. Their roles, functions and duties in this society are natural to be varied and diverse on the one hand and complicated, complex on the other hand. Lastly, the consequence of the duties are numerous, which results in making a large inventory of duties, functions, powers, roles and responsibilities of the police organization. Thank you.